Welcome back, Wargamers, to another edition of Budget Wargamer, and today we're going over the 5th day of Nurgle. So this is one of those days that actually caught my attention. I haven't been covering all the other days, but an interesting new unit has popped up for Age of Sigmar, and in particular the Nurgle armies. We've got the Pusgoyle Blightlords. So these guys are cool because I've always liked the Blight drones and the Putrid Blight Kings, and this seems to just really combine the two of those together. So rather than getting 3 of them like you would if they were the Plague Bearer type of version of them, looks like the kit's coming with 2, and they appear to be a totally new kit. So not just a rehash of providing new cavalry riders for those existing drones, but a whole new unit in and of itself. So this provides an interesting dynamic because previously, the Nurgle army was viewed as being a rather slow and lumbering force that had some mainstay. But now you combine in the fact that these drones give the equivalent, or the alleged equivalent of a Putrid Blight King, the speed of air cavalry and maneuverability. Then these guys combine hard-hitting, fast-moving cavalry. So I'm gonna be really curious how these guys compare to the Khorne riders, because those are some of my favorite models in the game, and I feel like these drones, other than the fact that they kind of are precariously positioned up in the air, and I've always felt like they might just break at any given point, but I've always been intrigued by these because they're just absolutely gross, right? These things are like a mosquito meets a fly, just absolutely disgusting. They embody the disgusting nature of Nurgle himself. So this is something new to look out for. Now, there's a couple other things out there that have come out in terms of the days of Nurgle. Let's see if we can take a look here, but we've grabbed a few other screenshots. See how they're like different. If we go in and we take a look here, like even the drones themselves are totally different. When you look at how the wings are tattered on these, the big horns coming forward, and they're on clear plastic flight stands. Let's go back and take a look at those Pusgoyle Blightlords, and you'll see that they're actually in flight with something attached to them from the model itself. Whether here it's the legs touching the rock, on this guy it's dragging a ball and chain. It gives them more of a natural flight appearance rather than having the clear stand coming out of it. And then also it seems like the wings are totally different. The armor, or the carapace that's on top of them, is totally different. So definitely a brand new and unique kit. Now there's also the ability to build one of these guys into a new character. So they had covered that here, and I don't know if that's the representation of the character, although that's quite possible. I like the trident there; kind of reminds me of Aquaman a little bit. But let's see what they're saying. So there's the Pusgoyle Blight Lords, very similar to the Blight Kings. And if we take a look at what the Blight Kings are, if you guys want to, right here, we'll take a quick look. Just to recap so you guys get a sense of those. These are a really awesome model kit as well. So basically combining those with the plague drones. Ooh, what else did they have? They had something else down here. Maggot King of Nurgle. Oh, so this is just for the battle tome. So we'll stay away from that one. But what are your guys' thoughts on this one? I haven't been able to find any info on the stats or the pricing. I can only assume that maybe these guys are priced somewhere around the same cost as what you would find on the other plague drones. So let's take a look there. Got Nurgle Rotbringers. That's this new push towards Nurgle here. Come on. Such a gross army. These guys are fun to paint. Because you can actually get away with being sloppy with them, but at the same time, that also gives you like this extra juice of creativity for an inspiration for putting them together. So the old Lord of Plagues continues over, and Oh, the Army of Nurgle sold out. But oh well, I mean, it's still something. You throw a couple of the Blight Kings together with the Start Collecting box, you basically get the same gist of that. They were just giving you a little bit of a savings. So let's take a look. We want to get the Demons of Nurgle. Sorry for bouncing all over there. There we go. So $60 is what they were charging for the Plague Drones of Nurgle. So I would say probably expect them to be in the $55, $60 range. They could be more expensive, but I just highly doubt that. They seem like Games Workshop's been more reasonably pricing their things as of late. And Blight War is so interesting. I would have picked this one up, but to me, what I was seeing here was that other than the fact they had a unique character for both sides, it really appeared to be a repackaging of some of their slowest selling models. You basically got the Start Collecting Nurgle Demons box there, plus a character, and then you got the Varangard Hunters, and then the Riders, and the it just was like, okay, I could pick that up. Sure, it's just a value box, and I collect both armies to some extent, not so much on the Nurgle Demons because it's more of the Blight Kings really drew me into Nurgle, and then what really brought me even further into Nurgle was the new 40k edition, and then I started kind of backtracing and going, oh, okay, now they don't seem like such a bad choice for playing Age of Sigmar. They're actually quite a bit of fun, but it'd be interesting to see what comes out on that 6th day of Nurgle. Let's see if we can see it, because we've got 2 more days left, as they're doing these. Instead of 7 days of Christmas, they're doing 7 days of Nurgle, because 7 being the operative number for Nurgle itself. So let's go back to Warhammer Community, how this all started off. Of course, they've got a song that kicked it off that's out right now on the homepage of Games Workshop's website. Let's go there. But it's just good to see. Like, I remember when Age of Sigmar first came out, the backlash that all the fantasy players had given it, and it's kind of come full circle. It took a little bit of time to catch on, right? Like, people had to decide, like, oh, okay, it's not so bad, but it did leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths initially. And now you've seen Games Workshop go from being this reclusive, controlling being that was just like being accused of dragging up prices and stuff like that. Not to say that they've stopped, but now they've become so involved with community. They've been pouring out information. They've been sometimes even getting information out there before it leaks, which was very uncharacteristic of them because they used to be a slow thing. And then to think about how they churn new product out every single week. It like never used to come out so fast. But just exciting times to come. What are your guys' comments on Nurgle? Are you guys going to be picking up and getting into Nurgle now for Age of Sigmar because of the new models that are coming out as of these 7 days of Nurgle? Or is it already something you had picked up and are just excited to add to your collection? Or maybe you don't care, so let us know either way. But one thing or another, it seemed really interesting that those guys came out and they caught my attention.